Good afternoon. This is truly a historic day for this great city and this great neighborhood. Project Vision, as many of you know, has three fundamental goals. One of them is to help build great neighborhoods. The grant that we are receiving here today, along with the countless dollars of private investment that we believe will follow in the years ahead, will help transform this neighborhood, the Northwest neighborhood here in Rutland, into one of the most attractive places to live in all of Vermont. Those are big words, I know. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while, and it's not going to be easy. But there's one other thing we know, that by working together with all of our partners, we could do things together that we could never do alone. As a result, we are going to succeed here. We're going to exceed everyone's expectations here. So, Governor, thank you for your faith in us. We will not let you down, as you've heard. We are going to do some really great things here today and the years ahead. And I would encourage you all to be watching, because this is, as the Chief said, just the beginning. The best is yet to come. Thank you.
Joe. And next up on our speaker list is Mary Cohen, who is representing a great partner that we have in NeighborWorks of Western Vermont.
All
right.
Hey everybody, NeighborWorks, on behalf of NeighborWorks, I can tell you that we are absolutely thrilled to be here and be a part of this, this project. We've been with Project Vision from the beginning, happy to be involved. We're incredibly excited to work with the energized residents that are making some positive changes in their neighborhood and going to build on the assets that are already there. We have lots of programs that can help, as the mayor was alluding to, from rehab and maintenance to energy efficiency to homebuyer education and some lending products that can encourage home ownership in this neighborhood, which is so vitally needed. It's so rare that an organization like ours has this opportunity when so many aligning factors come together for the greater good. And again, we are really thrilled to be a part and are happy to serve all the people here in this residence in this neighborhood, as well as Rutland in general. So thank you. Thank you.
And as several people have mentioned already, really the critical piece of the neighborhood is the neighbor, and that's an important piece of all of this, and it's going to be critical to the success that we're hoping to have here. So I would like to introduce Tashie, who has been a longtime resident here in the Northwest, to say a few words as well.
Yeah, this is a hard crew to follow. If I'm a little nervous, forgive me. So yeah, my name is Tashie, and I've lived in Rutland City for about 10 years. And I live on Baxter Street, which some of you know is just right around the corner, and I see so many of our neighbors here. I'm also an organic vegetable farmer. My husband and I run Radical Roots Farm, and we farm on 4 of the most incredibly beautiful, fertile agricultural acres you've ever seen, about barely a quarter mile outside the city. So yeah, we're organic farmers that farm outside the city, but we choose to live in the city. And we choose to live in the city for a really important reason. This is an amazing place to live. This is an amazing community, and we chose our neighborhood because it's an amazing community with some of the best people ever. See, we live in the kind of neighborhood where people know each other. We know each other's kids. We even know each other's pets, like, hey, your cat's over in my yard. It's the kind of neighborhood where we check in on each other. We know who's on vacation. We have each other's keys. You know, we water each other's plants. It's the kind of neighborhood where the first person who gets out their snowblower in the winter, if, you know, feels like winter's going to be here anytime, clears not only their driveway and sidewalk, but their neighbor's driveway and sidewalk. It's the kind of neighborhood where when we return from farmer's market on Saturday, we get kids running over to us. Do you have any leftover carrots or cucumbers or kale? It's the kind of neighborhood where we know which kids like kale. So as you all know, especially those of you who live here, it's not a perfect neighborhood, right? We know it's not a perfect neighborhood. Some of us are struggling. Some of us are struggling economically. Many of us are dealing with substance abuse or mental health or family issues. Far too many of us are in the judicial system in one shape or form. Many of us, and when I say us, I don't mean there is no them in our neighborhood. It's us, right? Us, not them, are struggling for things to just be okay. I mean, that's just kind of the reality. So we know this about ourselves. But we also know we're not the only neighborhood in Vermont or the neighborhood in the country that's dealing with those kinds of issues. And so, Governor, we were conflicted when you used the State of the State address to talk about the heroin problem in Vermont. We were conflicted. We were thrilled that you were outing the problem that we deal with daily. But we were conflicted because suddenly we started to see everybody from the New York Times to Rolling Stone magazine ascending on our town, on our neighborhood, like we were the ground zero, like we were the heart of the problem. Some of you know this, some of you dealt with this. The reporter from the New York Times asked to interview me, asked to interview many of us, and what she said was, "I'd like to come see your house." And so I said, well, absolutely. Let me tell you about the beauty of my neighborhood and the beauty of our neighbors. And she listened and she said, oh, never mind. And she withdrew her request. Because clearly what she wanted to see were what? Dirty needles and hear horror stories. What she didn't want to hear is that we're a neighborhood that created a community garden in a vacant lot. Please come see it. It's absolutely gorgeous. She didn't want to hear that we were a neighborhood that created an association that helps our neighbors, that cleans up the neighbors, that's even organizing bocce and horseshoe tournaments and game nights, you know, around the corner. She didn't want to hear that despite our problems, we're really proud of where we live. We love where we live. We chose to live here. And we're working to make it the kind of neighborhood where other people want to live too, to make it an enviable place to live. So thank you, Governor, thank you, the delegation, thank you, everybody, for recognizing the beauty of this neighborhood, for realizing that it's a neighborhood that's strong but fragile. It's a neighborhood that's very, very vital, but we're struggling. It's a neighborhood that's more than willing to deal with our problems. We're willing to work hard to make this neighborhood stronger and healthier, but we really do appreciate and accept the help that you all are willing to give. It's a neighborhood that I believe can truly become an enviable place to live and a lesson on the power of community. So thank you all very much.
That the people in front of you were hard to follow. Let's see what we can do here. So we are lucky to have 3 representatives of our federal delegation, and the first one to speak is going to be representing Patrick Leahy, and it is Chris Saunders.
Seriously, Carol, that was tremendous, and I think really exemplifies the reason why Senator Leahy is so excited about the Community Development Block Grant program. You really spoke to why this program exists, that communities that really have a strong core sometimes need help. And the Senator has fought for this program through his time in the Senate to make sure that it is there to assist communities when they need that help. The CDBG program is celebrating 40 years of existence and $400 million of investment in Vermont this year. And just to put into context what this year's award means for Rutland, Rutland is receiving about a quarter of the total federal funds in this program. That really, I think, speaks to how the state views this project in context of the entire state's needs and how much Rutland does mean to the entire state of Vermont. None of it would happen without an enthusiastic community, without great leadership that's been spoken to, Mayor Loris, Carol, Project Vision, NeighborWorks of Western Vermont, and you really are all to be congratulated. We also have a tremendous team at the state level. Jennifer Haller and Josh Hanford and the entire team at the Agency of Commerce really do a great job of helping communities develop these projects and make sure that they can be all that they can be and make sure that they realize their potential. So on behalf of the Senator, congratulations to the Rutland community. This is a great award. It's very well deserved, and we look forward to seeing how the project progresses. Thank you.
And next up, we have representing U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, Jenny Hansen.
Nelson.
Nelson, sorry.
Good afternoon. Wow, isn't this wonderful? I can't think of one word to say that hasn't been said already. But I will tell you that I'm the eyes and ears for the senator, and boy, I can't wait to go back and report to him. And I want to also add that when you talk about partnerships, you know, it really is a federal, state, and certainly local issue. And the work that's being done here is just the tip of the iceberg. And I think that somebody said public good. And when you think about providing nice homes, homes that people can be proud of and take care of, and learn to finance through home, you know, the home, what is it, neighborhood works. Those are all such important parts to this. Rutland's a great city. I think it almost, you could talk about our whole country when you talk about problems and what's going on right here in Rutland. So my congratulations to everyone on behalf of Senator Sanders. I can't wait to tell him all the great things that are going on, and I wish this community the very, very best.
Thank you, Jenny. And last up, we have representing Congressman Peter Welch, Susan Elliott.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I always go third, so what do I have to add? So congratulations to the state of Vermont, to Jen and her team who administer the CDBG program. It's flexible federal funds that almost never happen, and they do great things like this. And thank you, Carol, for your comments. I think, you know, relationships are the heart of community building. It's what sustain and build community, and citizens are at the center of that, and they can engage the wider community. I encourage you to engage all of the neighborhoods, the business owners, the congregations, associations, and ask them what they need, what they want, ask them to be involved. Everyone has something to contribute, whether it's time or money or ideas. And this project will help make Rutland a more vibrant and inviting place to live and to work and to play. And Congressman Welch hopes that when you're done rehabbing these homes and building parks and neighborhoods, that you'll invite him to come and see your new neighborhood within walking distance to downtown, to transportation and schools. We have great expectations, and we're looking forward to hearing about your progress. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I want to just say a few more words, and then we're going to open it up to some questions for myself or anyone else here who has spoken. I want to first thank all of our speakers, the governor, our federal delegation, everyone who's been a part of this today. I would also like to specifically thank the Vermont Community Development Board. This is actually the culmination of 2 planning grants that they allowed us to use their funding for. So this is the implementation of that. We really do appreciate all of the support they've given to Rutland. The Department of Housing and Community Development, I know that's been mentioned a few times with Jen Holler. I would also really like to thank Lisa Ryan, who is the representative of that department to Rutland, who has really been a part of this for several years, is probably just as invested in all of this as we are here at the local level. So I do want to thank Lisa specifically. The Rutland City Board of Aldermen, just as the administration has been leading this charge, every member of the board has been very involved in all of this over the last few years. As part of our city match to the federal funding, we actually went to the board asking for $200,000, which we thought would be a big ask for that group to come up with, to help fund some street improvements that are going to happen actually in the next week or two, just a block away on Library Ave. The voters of the city approved a $5 million bond that's going to be part of the sewer separation project, and we wanted to complete that by really making that street look great and adjoining blocks as well. So we not only got what we had asked for, we got more, and some of the board members there said, is this enough to really do this correctly? We want this to be completed correctly, and so we were really thrilled to have that support. We came out of it with $225,000, which we feel will be enough to do that job to its highest level. I also want to thank the Rutland Redevelopment Authority, my board. I know there are a few members here. Since I've been here, I came down about 2.5 years ago. They've been nothing but supportive of the work we've been trying to do here. As we were kind of reinventing ourselves, this was about 3 years ago, we came up with a tagline, which was "Let's make it happen." And I think this is a great example of the community coming together and us all really making this happen. I also want to include the members of the departments of City Hall. I don't want to leave anybody out, and I won't list people individually, but certainly from the clerk's office, the treasurer's office, the city assessor, the Department of Public Works, and our building and zoning office have all been in lockstep with us as we've moved towards this moment. So this event really marks what I would consider the culmination of the planning stage. As I said, we've been doing this now for several years, and now the real work will begin. As I said, we have, I think, in place right now, with the help of NeighborWorks, we have some folks from Habitat for Humanity here today, the other stakeholders that have been involved in Project Vision, and the residents themselves, the team that is going to make this happen. I will use this as an opportunity to plug private investment. What we're seeing here today is public investment that we hope will really spur private investment in this community. That's what will be the transformative change, when the investors and the single-family homeowners are willing to put their money in as well, and I'm very confident that that will happen. I'd like us actually, if we could, to mark on our calendars July 7th, 2019. I'd like us all to come back here to this spot, and we look around here today, we see a number of abandoned buildings with their entrances blocked up. I think this will look a whole lot different, and I can't wait to see what the results of this will be. So thank you very much. That's the end of our program, and I guess we can open it up to questions from people, either to me or Mary for NeighborWorks or the governor.